Hi guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel and thank you guys for all your love and support. I'm so happy that you guys are liking the Ascended Masters series. I'm going to keep doing it, and this week I'm going to use it again as like a weekly forecast. So this will have a little bit of everything. It's going to do, I'm going to do the automatic writing. We're going to cover this will include like the full moon and Sagittarius energy. I'll touch on that a little. And we'll do a full reading for twin flames and those along this journey, the ascension journey. And we'll receive the messages from the masters via writing and through the cards. So this morning, Archangel Michael is with us. Actually, he's been around me for a few days. He showed me about 3 days ago that he wanted to come in for this reading. I have goosebumps. Do you? So he's here with us. I'm still sipping my coffee, you guys, and I'm raspy. Sorry. So I want to tell you guys a few things. Actually, I'm going to write them. I'm going to write them, and I'm going to grab my little eraser, my tissue. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to write them on the dry erase board so you guys like have something to look at. So first thing is, next week or this coming week is the summer solstice, and some people like to clump it together with the full moon reading, and I do not feel like that energy belongs with the full moon. So summer solstice feels like it belongs with the first eclipse, which is a solar eclipse on July 2nd. So what I'm going to do is you're going to have this reading here, which is Ascended Masters, the full moon is Sagittarius, and it's going to take you all the way through the summer solstice. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do one big, huge reading. I'll probably put myself back on camera, and I'll be here for you to explain what's coming in the collective for the eclipses, for the solstice, what we can do to honor the solstice, and so on and so forth. I've already channeled a message for the solstice and the first eclipse, and if you guys want that email, please sign up on my website. It's spiritualmaterialgirl.com. Just scroll to the bottom and enter your email. By entering your email, you'll also receive the updates on the reminders and updates for the free conference calls I'm holding this summer. So that's the first thing I'm going to write down. So on 6/26, there's a free twin flame support group call, and anyone can call in. Okay, it's on June 26th. You guys aren't going to be able to see the board like this. It's on June 26th, and it's a free support group call. So these are really, really fun, and it's a great way if you guys haven't talked to the community or connected with your tribe, or if you need guidance from me or whatever that is. That's a great way to chime in. If you missed the one in June, which is going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be holding one in July and August as well. So get on my list so that you get that information, okay? I'm going to move this back so you can see. Okay, so 6/26, free support group call. From 6/21 through 7/2, so from the summer solstice through to the solar eclipse, I'm holding an eclipse special on my website. It's a solstice eclipse reading, and you can only book it for these dates, okay? I don't think I can set the parameters on my site just because of the constraints of the booking app, but so I'll only be allowing the bookings from these dates, 6/21 to 7/2. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's going to go quick. It's basically an in-depth reading. We're going to look into sacred feminine wisdom for the solstice for you. We'll do a 9-card tarot spread. We will look at, any challenges you might be facing during the eclipses this year, hidden aspects, news, info, anything that might surface just to get you prepared and give you insight. And then we'll look at your year end. So basically the next 6-month cycle, which is July through December. And we'll see what's up ahead for you. So this could be a really great way for you to check in on the energy, see what's up ahead, and just get yourself feeling more prepared for the eclipse season. This is $81.11. It's a special rate, and this will only be up for a short time. And lastly, the retreat. Holy crap, you guys. There's only like 4 spots left. So if you've been thinking about registering, register now. And it's only a $200 deposit on it. And then you just hold your hotel room with a credit card. It's really inexpensive. It's only, it's really affordable. And it's only, there's nothing that you have to out of pocket except for the hotel. So it's like basically it's all inclusive. So you're getting your retreat, your classes, your meals, high vibe food, all of that. And if you guys haven't heard about my retreat, I'm holding an Ascension Retreat in a gorgeous part of New England right before the autumnal equinox. So you guys are saying, oh yeah, but that's September. I have time. Not really. I'm going to close registration in July, and then your final payments are due in August. So it's easy to budget for this. It's really affordable. If you're within driving distance, it's easy. If you want to fly in, there's an airport nearby. This is going to be like an amazing weekend. Check out the itinerary. I think you guys are going to love it. So 4 spots left for that. Make sure you register. I know a lot of you have been thinking about it, but then you're not ready to register just yet. So if that's the case, just know that the hotel is filling up and we've got to act on it, okay? All right, so that's that. So you got all the reminders, free conference call. We've got the solstice eclipse reading special, and I'll send out an email about that as well. And the retreat. Okay, so if anyone else wants to book a session, work with me, spiritualmaterialgirl.com. All the info is there. So let's just take a minute and just get centered and take a deep breath with me. And exhale. So calling in the archangels and ascended masters. They're saying those who want to step forth shall be forward and present with us at this time. And again, I'm seeing stepping forward is Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael is here with us. He's had a very important message, I feel, for us. So let's just see what comes through the automatic writing, okay? Okay, so this is what he's written to us. He says, live your life, live your truth. Step out of line, forward towards fear, past them. I think he's saying towards fears. So I felt like when he said them, it was your fears. Forward towards fears, past them, recoil, past them, advance. So let me read it to you again and just let that all sink in. Okay, so it's Archangel Michael. He's saying, live your life, live your truth, step out of line, forward towards fears, past them, recoil, past them, advance. Wow. So do you guys get that? Do you get what he's saying? It feels like when he said step out of, he's saying live your life, live your truth. Like I feel like he's saying break out, be bold, step forward, go into your truth, step into it all the way. But he says step out of line. And I feel like what he's saying is like, step out of that line, that programming, you know, that by the book, the following suit. You don't need to be like perfect and fill in that like sort of, you don't have to fill in that single file line anymore. And, you know, this is like, remember in elementary school and they used to line you up and, okay, single file, they would say. I mean, at least this would happen with me. And you'd have to stand. I remember having to stand like a little military, you know, child. And they would want your shoulders back. And this was when I was a kid. And I wasn't in like a strict school or private school. This was public school. Shoulders back and your chest up and you're standing up tall. And this was my first grade teacher, actually. This is so funny. And we used to do some of the military calls with like about face and all of that. But I remember standing single file. Everyone had to look, you know, completely. It was just like this homogenous thing. You look like everyone else, and you make yourself inconspicuous, and you know everyone stands the same way. And you know, Archangel Michael is saying, step out of that line. Go be unique you. You know, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to just live your life and go your own path. And so he's saying, well, step out of the line now and go forward towards your fears. And then he's saying, get past them. And then he's talking about recoiling, which feels like we go, you know, it's a lot of what you guys talk about on this journey. Like, oh, I was doing so good, and I took like 10 steps forward, and then I just, something happened. I had the worst day, and like I felt like I just took 10 steps back. But the truth is we're never moving backwards. We're always ever expanding. So he's saying, pass them, recoil, pass them, advance. And what that feels like is we might need to recoil to get past them and then advance. And that's what feels like is happening during this full moon energy. Is I have goosebumps to you. I love these little, you know, poems and things that the archangels send us because they're so simple, yet they're just so powerful. Do you guys agree? So I'm going to read it again, and I want you to receive it and all the definitions and all the meanings that it could possibly mean for you. Live your life, live your truth, step out of line, forward towards fears, past them, recoil, past them, advance. Wow, I love it, you guys. I really do. So this is about, it makes sense with the Sagittarius energy because this is, you know, Sagittarius is a very like courageous sign, very free-spirited, very adventurous. This is what he's talking about. So when we are talking about getting past our fears, Archangel Michael or any of the other archangels or ascended masters who are present with us, could you give us some clarity on how we navigate these fears or how we confront this at this time? Okay, so this is really interesting. So they said lock in, load in, shuffleboard, treasure. So what I get from this is this is about when it's like lock in, they're saying like lock into your fear, meaning like So when we're afraid of our fears, when we're afraid to face something or one thing or maybe many things, we'll keep them at bay, right? We'll keep it at bay. You know how like your fears sort of creep up on you, they lurk in the background, they hang over your head. What Archangel Michael is saying is lock into it. So that means like you've got to face it head on. Okay? Say, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm actually going to look at you straight in the eye. Okay? I'm going to put myself right in with you. I'm going to put myself in the ring with you. And then he's saying load in, which I really felt like was bringing the emotions forth. When he said shuffleboard, I got the feeling, you know, when you look at a shuffleboard, like everything's moving around, I felt like there were all different memories coming in for some of you. Like, this is what we do when I work with you in soul coaching, is we talk about the various memories that stick out in your mind from childhood and associated memories. I feel like going through that, like where did this fear stem from? And, you know, what are the associated memories, or what are the core memories? And can you bring in all of that awareness? This is like big awareness that you're bringing to the table. Okay? And then he's saying the treasure will be found. So we need to stand in front of our fears. We need to stand in the ring with our fears. We need to face our fears head on. We need to load in with the emotions behind the fears, like really not, in, you know, like basically joining any disconnect that we have had, which many of you don't realize this, but, you know, with any fear, there are underlying emotions. And so sometimes we have a fear, we keep it at bay, we stay very disconnected from the emotions. So all we feel is just the fear, the trepidation. But really what might be under that is a whole rainbow of emotions that stem from the shuffleboard of memories. And when you bring that into awareness, you can find the treasure. And that's how we get past our fears. That's how we shift. It's really through the awareness. That's how we get to the good stuff. Okay? Okay, let's see what else Archangel Michael or any of the other angels, ascended masters want to say to us. You guys, when I take the pause, and a lot of times even when I'm writing, my eyes are closed, so I'm sorry that my writing looks like chicken scratch. Okay, so he did tell me this was complete. So call forth protection. I am here for you. Reach out of the darkness. I shall light the way. He's asking us to call upon him as we face our fears, as we go into anything that feels dark. He's saying you can reach right out of the darkness and he shall light the way for you. So this is a time to be working with Archangel Michael, I feel. He's present with us in a huge, like probably more so than I have felt anyone in a long time. Like even Mother Mary, he's so close. Like he's like, his presence is so grand right now in the room with me that I am here. I've been sitting here this entire time in like in full goosebumps. Like I have goosebumps. My hair is standing up on my arms. It's huge. So let's go to the Ascended Masters. We're going to do the Archangel Ascended Masters and Angel Therapy decks first in our cards. And we'll get the messages from the Masters and Archangels. And then we will... and then we'll do like a tarot spread. Okay, you guys? Okay, Archangels, Archangel Michael, please guide us. What do we need to know? What does the collective need to know at this time to help us advance? Okay, so Archangel Gabriel's coming forward, and in reverse it says nurture. Okay? As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So this is about, again, this could be someone with a child or with a child around you who you've been spending time with or needing to nurture at a greater level. And that's a great reminder for you. But those of you who are not around children at this time, this is just a simple reminder to nurture yourself. We've not been caring enough for ourselves, and this is like truly, you can see it's a coddling, it's a soothing, it's an enveloping, and we can call upon Mother Mary. If you know, I work with a lot of clients who, when they go back into their core wounding, you know, they discover that they weren't held enough as a baby, or they didn't receive enough hugs and kisses, or maybe that type of gentle nurturing was missing, because one, you know, parental figure or another was in a false masculine template, or you know, maybe the mother had to step up into survivor mode, or maybe one of the parents were sick or always at work. And so this nurturing is huge, that you give it to yourself. And if you need to connect with that feeling, if you don't know really what that is, call in Mother Mary, okay? Archangel Gabriel works directly with Mother Mary to deliver her message, and I feel like this is a Mary type energy, where she's, her coddle, her cradle, her loving arms are like no other. So if you need to call in that energy, call it in via her, so you can feel that cradle and learn how to do it for yourself as well, okay? Actually, I'll try to put this. Let's see. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to stay like that. Okay. Comfort. What did I just say? So we're learning how to self-soothe. And Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So I feel like a lot of what this is like, you know, as we face our fears, there's a certain amount of, you know, needing to comfort ourselves, you know, needing that feeling of it's all going to be okay. And Archangel Azrael, you can work with her to, you know, in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. This is like, it's huge. I'm with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. This is the final end. This is the final piece of that cycle, I feel. That cycle that Mother Mary was talking about last week. It's a cycle of completion, that in which there was a lot of heartache, and it's really important to be good to yourself, your physical body especially. If you need rest, rest. If you need to self-soothe, comfort yourself. You can call in helpers, obviously, but I feel like what this is talking about is that this like the end of a cycle, and it's the facing of the fears. Some of you have been keeping something at bay. I keep getting that phrase, at bay. Someone's keeping something at bay. Some of you are, not maybe just someone, but some of you, a group of you, are keeping something at bay. Maybe it's a piece of information you haven't wanted to know or see. Maybe it's feelings that you haven't, wanted to experience. And they're saying that it's okay now for you too, because as you go into it, then it resolves. Then you can actually get to the other side and advance, like Archangel Michael was saying. Okay, so they're letting you know everything's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And this is important too as we go into the eclipses. So Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion and in your love life and your career. So passion, it's coming up in reverse. So this is saying, like, I've been getting that this is a time to reconnect to your passions. But I also feel like it's, take a gamble, take a risk, do something to reignite that spark. Take a trip for inspiration, do some research, art inspires art. So like, go see art, go look at art, go listen to music, do whatever you need to reignite your passions. Could be nature, could be getting out in nature, it could be just doing something that you love and that interests you, that reignites your own passions. This feels very connected to projects, career, mission, but it's not, they're saying how you lead into that is just by connecting with your personal passions. Could be cooking, it could be, anything that you do for simple enjoyment is our passions. That connects you with the bigger picture, with the bigger projects, with the bigger scope of where your passions lie as well. But we've got to do it in small ways first, okay? Small ways that make us happy, that fulfill us, that ignite that fire. Again, this is the moon in Sagittarius. It's that fire energy, and we're needing to reignite that. There's been something standing in the way of those passions, okay? It feels like fear, avoidance, denial at some level. Anything that's been denied will come up during the eclipses. Oh, someone just flew out. Oh, and there we go, moon cycles. So again, Archangel Haniel, so twice in a row. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So full moon is the time to bring things to completion. I feel like the message that I'm receiving is some of the intentions that you set forth at the new moon this month, the new moon in Gemini, they're still coming to you. They're a little bit blocked because you need to tie up the fears and face some of the things that you haven't been able to face. And once you do that, there's a huge reward waiting on the other side. Okay, so work with this energy to release what's not serving you. I feel like it's much more of like a facing it, like confronting it head on type of whatever that means in context for you. And that's going to get you to the other side, like to the other side of fear, to the, to the state of trust and love, to where all manifestations can crystallize. And right now there's still something blocking it, it feels, which is, this is something that you don't want to face, avoidance. There's something lurking. Last card is Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So this is relationship harmony. So this could be your relationship with your twin flame, with a karmic partner, where maybe it's going to harmonize a bit so that you can release yourself for some of you. This could be, I have been getting like a strain in familial relationships. This could also be like a more healed harmonized familial relationship. But I do feel like we are, through facing our fears and advancing on our own path, reconnecting with our passions, we're able to harmonize the relationships in our lives. So in particular, I'm getting that there was an argument or something recently, either a disagreement or an argument or some aspect in which you felt misunderstood. Some of you, it's a family member. And that might be healing over the next few weeks. For twin flames, I feel like there's a harmonization happening at a 5D level. And if you guys want my my audio meditation, don't forget you can purchase that online. It's $11.11. You get a 5D connection tool with your twin and a cord cutting ceremony that you can facilitate with anyone you want to clear energy with. But the 5D connection tool is really huge because I do feel like we need to unite and harmonize in the 5D before we'll be able to experience and anchor in those physical unions, which I feel are on the forefront for many in August, September. So, yeah, so that's relationship, harmony, and then we'll look at the bottom of this deck. Archangel Metatron, Indigo, and Crystal Children. And we got this last time, and I was talking about this. Someone had a connection with this child, and I'm actually getting that message again. It's coming through. Some of you are Indigos or work with Indigo children. So remember, Indigos are highly sensitive, but they're also amazing leaders. They're here to lead. They're very, very wise. And I think some of you are positively influencing these souls, and you're serving as like a role model is what it feels. So as you pioneer through your own work, you uplift others, you have a positive influence on so many people you don't even realize. That's the thing about this journey, is you're impacting people all the time, in subtle ways, in deliberate ways, in ways that you don't even know. And it's all by just doing the work on yourself. So we'll leave that, and then we'll go to this Masters deck. So obviously this is going to be a longish reading, so but stay tuned because there's always good stuff that comes up. Okay, so balancing career and home life is coming up, which is Isis. So Isis is one who is all. So this is about, like, you know, you might be feeling really pulled at this time, like, how am I going to do everything? How am I going to take care of myself and, you know, do those projects I want to do and my work? And, you know, a lot of you are feeling overwhelmed, I think. And I think it just starts with small baby steps and prioritizing what's important for you. Even if you are, let's say, in a you know, 9-to-5 job in which you maybe are not even happy and there's other things you want to do. It's not that you don't go to work from 9 to 5, you do, but when you shift your priorities around, the way you prioritize before you go to work and when you come home is going to look completely different. When your priority is you, when your priority is your spirituality, when your priority is your passions, it means that you'll wake up and you'll center, you'll meditate, and then you'll go to work. It means while you're at work, instead of taking, you know, an hour to go to the local, you know, sandwich shop or salad shop, you're going to go sit outside, bring your lunch, and have a picnic in nature with yourself. It means when you come home from work, instead of feeling totally overwhelmed by all the chores and things that you have to do and rushing around, you'll just choose the one thing that's really important to you that you can kind of work on for half an hour that day, and then get to all of your responsibilities, you know, after that. So it's not that we become irresponsible, it's that we reshuffle our priorities. And when the priority is us and our passions and our spirituality and our dedication to that and our wellness and our well-being Maybe it's health, fitness. You know, this is how we find balance. It's baby steps. It's carving out the time. And it's really a reshuffling. Maybe that's why we saw the shuffleboard, you know, through Archangel Michael, because they keep saying it's a reshuffling of our priorities. So that's how you're going to be able to find that balance and be one who is all. Okay? So I love that message. Let's see what else I have to say. Okay, so drink more water, Ocean. And when we drink more water, like, we calibrate to the vibration of water. This is that tiger, the courageous tiger. And I do feel like when we have nervous energy, we get a dry mouth, right? When we are doing all this up leveling, we might not be realizing that our body's working overtime. Water's going to help you calibrate to the natural rhythms on the planet, to the vibration of unconditional love. It's going to help you overcome your fears, is what I get. That's why that tiger energy is there. So some of you might not be drinking enough water during all of this up-leveling. Flow of prosperity. Now this was coming out in reverse, Lakshmi. And Lakshmi wants to remind us that as we take care of ourselves and we find the balance from within and we face our fears and we advance, there's reward coming. And I really do feel like it's having the courage to prioritize ourselves at this time. That's really important, is having the courage to prioritize yourself at this time, to prioritize your passions. That's how the universe can rise up and meet you. If there's something you've been wanting to do and you've got it on the back burner and you're not working on it, even in thought, even in intention, then the universe can't rise up and meet you. But when you start to think about it, you start to visualize it, you start to work towards it, you start to put baby steps towards it, and you prioritize these things, that's how new opportunities and a new stream of income, monetary flow can just flow right in and meet us. This also feels like, because we're talking about water and flow, and this feels like when the emotional blocks are removed, when it, like, I really do feel like when we face that one last thing we haven't been wanting to face, it opens the floodgates. And it's courage to face it, and then it's like the flow that comes through once we unblock it. So think about what Archangel Michael was saying. He was saying, you know, go into your fears and then recoil, and past your fears, recoil, past your fears, advance. And that this is part of that advancement. Okay, so even though it came up in reverse. All right, the bottom of this deck is come out of the closet. And I feel like this is just where we've been hiding from, yes, our truth. That's what Archangel Michael said. He said, go live in your truth. Step out of line and forward towards your fears. So this is like making some things that you've been ashamed of, or, you know, maybe hiding from yourself, maybe that you've been keeping at bay within yourself. When you make them known to others, it's really this very liberating process. It liberates you from the shame. So I do feel like shame is a big piece of this, because anytime we're keeping something at bay, it's because we're not just afraid of it, but there might be something that we're ashamed of. So they're saying, as you start to wear those things and share with others, you'll also see like that will be met with positive reinforcement, positive it'll just be met in a positive light. So let's say there's something you've been hiding or afraid of, and then you share it with someone. They might say, oh yeah, that happened to me too, and I was afraid of that too, and oh yeah, you just have to face it and it's going to be okay, and I went through that, or oh yeah, I have that same fear. You're gonna see that we all have shame, we all have things that we hide, we all have things that we fear. But I do feel like as you face your fears and you share that shame a bit, we're able to shed it and transform it, transmute it. And you also see that, everyone's shame and fear is kind of the same. And as we share it, it's no longer shame, right? So that's why they're saying come out of the closet. And the Angel Therapy deck. Earth Angel, you are a light worker who's come to Earth to teach about love. So this came in reverse too. So this might be part of what you're coming out of the closet with. So some of you, it's about you stepping forth as a healer, as one who is here to teach about love and perhaps even relationships. And you are light, you are light. Don't be ashamed of the light that you are here to shed. Embrace it, step into it. Know that it's your birthright to share your wisdom, your gifts. So it's saying clear yourself, ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. So I feel like in order to be this light worker, we are working on clearing some negative energy. I feel like we're working on balancing our chakras, and we have been for a while. And especially I was talking recently about the root chakra. This feels like from the root to the crown, like the whole body. And the auric field, in order to step into this light and truly claim our authenticity, we must clear that. And this is all connected to the fears that lie within. Okay, so listen to your intuitive feelings. So they're saying your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. So this is where some of you are not trusting yourself enough. You're not listening all the way. And it could also be because of the imbalances from within, or the fear, the blocks that you're holding from within, that it's clouding or numbing out those messages from being felt or experienced all the way. So as you go into the fears, as you advance, as you clear that out, as you balance your chakras, you're going to be able to feel these feelings and not only be in a state of trust with them, but actually just feel them all the way through in your physical body so that you can receive the messages, trust them, and follow the guidance. We are being guided. And in reverse, clear, cancel, delete, which is use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. So the reason why this is coming up in reverse is because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but synchronicities are so rapid that, like, and I said this on a video before, but I know for me, it's like the minute I think it, the second I think it, and the next second I will see the manifestation of that thought in some form. So it could be, I think of some random name, Leah, or in the next minute I'll see a truck with Leah on it. Like, it's crazy. And these could be things that you're emotionally invested in, or these could be things that, like I said, are just some random fleeting thought, and then boom. So when you have random fleeting thoughts, or maybe deliberate thoughts that you're having around your fears, you'll see the manifestation of those thoughts in your reality. And you can also see the manifestation of the fears in your reality if you don't, you know, if you're not in control of your thoughts and emotions. So what do I mean by seeing the physical manifestation of your thoughts? That means that, like, when you think about your fears, let's say that you're fearing coming out of the closet, and maybe there's something that you're ashamed about, and it's something in particular, and then all of a sudden something, you know, flashes by your eyes in the physical and in 3D that is a reminder of that thing that you're not wanting to face, of that thing that you're not wanting to expose to everybody. And so again, it's not like your fear coming right into physical fruition, but it is the manifestation of your thought. It's the projection of that thought showing up in the 3D. But if we think that thought enough, eventually our fear will come to fruition. So maybe that fear is the rejection around that shame. You know, that will show up in our experience if we don't get control over these thoughts. So this is where they're saying clear, cancel, and delete any ways that you've been talking negatively to yourself, about yourself, or anything that you're wanting to work out for you. Choose a new story and hone in on the fear-based thoughts. And again, a lot of this is going to come to resolution when we go in and face the fears. But even in order to do that and get yourself to that place where you're ready to face your fears, you might need to start talking about them differently. Like this feeling of, I am supported and it's okay no matter what happens. When I go into my fear, you know, I am loved. It's going to be okay. I know how to comfort myself. I'm safe, secure, protected from within, right? So like that language in itself can help us face our fears. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to, like I said, this is like a combined reading. So we're gonna leave this wisdom out from the angels and the masters. So a lot of this is around, I'm gonna move this closer here. And we're gonna, so a lot of this was around facing our fears, coming out of the closet, coming out of any shame or hidden aspects that we need to face. So let's see specifically for the twin flames what the divine feminine, divine masculine are, what's up for the collective right now for each of those energies. What's the feminine and masculine working on? What are they working on behind the scenes? And what do we need to know at this full moon? All right, so this is what's happening, and I feel like both the feminine and masculine are focusing. They're focusing their energy towards, for the masculine, it feels like much more the daily life, the daily tasks, the going to work, the making the money, the working towards a goal. The goal feels like very physical, very tangible, like a new home or some goal, some trip that he wants to take, some life that he wants to build. He's putting the time in, he's putting the work in. There's something too that they're saying he's grinning and bearing it. So there's something that I feel like he is going to change in his physical world, but he's putting in the work now so that he can make that change. Does that make sense? So that's happening, and I do feel like that change might be coming between August and September. Either he's fulfilling that goal, there's a goal attainment, or he is putting in the work now so that he can maybe move on to another job or change his life in some way. Does that make sense? For the feminine, I feel like this is where she's starting to refocus on like her bigger passions, not the daily life things, but like her bigger projects, her bigger passions, and kind of putting her nose to the grindstone to, you know, start to chip away at it again. And when I say chip away, that's literally like chipping away. This does not mean biting it, you know, taking one bite and getting it all done. This just means like you're literally going to start to put focused energy towards it. And little by little, you'll be chipping away at those bigger goals and dreams. Okay, so that's an important message. Okay, so then we have High Priestess energy. So I feel like for both the feminine and masculine, this is really about trusting. Like this High Priestess energy it's essentially like being able to totally tap into our higher guidance, to the divine guidance, the higher knowing. And I feel like a lot of this energy is coming through for the masculine. It's just he may or may not be receiving it all the way at this time. It's definitely coming through for him. He's receiving downloads in the dream state, in his waking state. He is receiving, you know, I know you guys always ask, does my twin get signs and synchronicities too? Yes. You know, everyone's level of awareness with that is different, you know, but depending upon how awake your counterpart is, they will notice the synchronicities in, you know, at different levels. But many have awakened enough to be very in tune with it. Some of those, though, they'll see and then they'll kind of run away from, or they'll see and they won't want to acknowledge what it means all the way, or they'll see and they'll be a little bit more in disbelief. But I do feel like the masculine is receiving a lot of that guidance. Feminine, this is really just about like, this is really about your connection with your higher self. And it is stepping into your most powerful self. And in order to do that, there are some fears that need to be cleared out of the way. Because we cannot be in a state of trust and complete ownership of our power if we have residual fear even in there at any level. So that's really important. So yes, divine masculine are receiving the messages. They definitely are. They're just not ready to fully listen to it, I feel. Okay, so then we have the 10 of Wands. And this feels like something that is about to close up karmically. So I have goosebumps again. So this is something karmically that we're putting down a heavy load. For the feminine, it could be the fear that you've been carrying around. This thing that's been lurking, this thing that you've been carrying on your back, that's been heavy, burdensome. For many of you, masculine or feminine, this could be the connection with a karmic partner that's no longer serving you. This could be guilt that's been on your back, or like the weight of guilt or shame. It's something that you're going to put down now, and you're going to stand up and you're going to face. You're going to say, no, this isn't working anymore, this particular situation. Or you're going to say, wait, I cannot keep all of this on my shoulders, on my back. I need to step forth and express my truth. And for the masculine, that feels very true. I feel like for many, or for a group of you, there is a karmic ending. There's this, I can't do this anymore. This isn't working. It's succumbing to that truth. But then, like, for the masculine, they're also showing me there's a group of masculine who, I just had it. Let me see if I can reconnect to it. They're saying, I can't hold it back anymore. I can't hold it back. There's like, there's contact coming from some of you from the masculine. Between now and July 10th, they're saying there's a group of you who are going to hear, like if you've been in separation, you're going to hear from your masculine between now and July 10th. Okay, some of you will hear. It's almost like he can't deny the truth anymore. He's putting down this, where he's been hiding his feelings. Okay, this is not for everyone. This is a group of you. That's important. Mark that. Those of you that resonates with, mark that down, because there's something big about that. It may not be a grand gesture, they're saying. It may be a subtle gesture. He's going to peek out of these, he's going to kind of peek his head around the corner to see, to say, oh, I'm here, but he's still kind of hiding behind some of this. This is also related to coming out of the closet. This is related to the masculine. He wants to, there are a group of masculine who want to step forth and kind of tell their feelings to the feminine. They're afraid. They've been holding it back for a long time. They've come into the awareness, or they're coming into the awareness, and they're afraid of how it will be received. They're afraid of being fully vulnerable. There's a piece of them that fears rejection, that fears rejection. So they're not sure where you're at in your life. They're not sure how you feel, or if you're still thinking of them, but they're going to step forth in truth. See, he's taking a step forward to put this down and to come into his truth. So not everyone, but that's a group of you. Oh boy, hold on a second. We have a card flying out. Okay, so King of Pentacles in reverse, and I feel like, again, this is masculine energy. I'm getting that it's almost like the masculine has wanted it to, he's wanted to have it already. He's wanted to already have reached the goal and already have had it established before he, reaches out. But they're saying there is a speeding up of a karmic cycle ending, and the truth step, him stepping forth in truth, and everything might not be ready just yet, but he's still thinking of this establishment, this goal attainment, this, being in a place. He wants to have things ready for, this is part of his insecurity too. Am I established enough? Do I have things ready enough? Am I whole enough to step forth, to even say anything? There's a lot of messages coming through around readiness, and I think okay, so if you're a masculine watching this, or if you're a feminine who may be receiving this, readiness can just be knowing the truth of your heart. It doesn't have to be having all the puzzle pieces figured out in the 3D. It doesn't have to be all these 3D restrictions. Well, this has to be in place before I do that. And it's always okay to step forth and express your emotions. Okay. Justice. So, justice in reverse. This is saying that everything's going to find its balance as you follow your truth. I feel like also things that maybe some of you have been concerned about in tying up karmic cycles with a karmic partner, karmic marriage, it's going to play out to your favor, to your advantage. I do feel like it would be a good time to seek a teacher or a guide, someone, a counsel, wise counsel, could be for some of you a lawyer or attorney, to help you through the process. It's not about fighting or winning. It's more about just navigating in your truth, navigating in your integrity. And it's not about protecting yourself in fear. It's about asking for the highest outcome for all involved. And that's how everything works out and finds its balance. Okay? This is also a message for twin flames saying feel like the clarity of how everything balances out and how it all fits together, and how everything's going to work in the 3D is going to come over the next several months. Definitely by October, a lot of twin flames will know their fate. They'll know way better than what they've known in the past, like where they've said, am I in an illusion? Am I speculating? Am I crazy? And what I feel is you're going to know the fate of your relationship. You're going to know what it all means. You're going to know where you're going, where you're headed, who's supposed to be walking with you on this journey. You're going to have many more puzzle pieces than you have right now, so that's coming as well to balance things out and provide order and harmony. A lot of that clarity will come after the eclipses in July. Actually, right after. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands, and I feel like this is about, this feels like it's about someone returning, and you know, it's either someone returning or it's the rewards of it's someone returning after they've done the work, and after you've done the work, and after some work has been put into, it feels like, you know, self-mastery. And there's some of you are going to have a twin flame returning to you, or a divine partner coming home, returning. It's a result of your own self-mastery, self-reliance, self-healing, and there's some rewards coming. It's not like, it's like if a masculine steps forth to the feminine or returns with some communication, it's not like it's going to be like, oh yeah, and the next day you're going to be married and living together. But it's more like there's a groundwork being laid, there's a foundation being set, there are still things being worked on, being worked out in the physical, and yeah. So I'm just going to leave that there, because that's pretty clear to me that that's speaking of, especially it feels like, see, and this is, we're getting the Eight of Cups. So this is walking away from something, I feel like something karmic, to return home to the beloved. And this is not really coming home, but this is like a returning back. This is something that, like the masculine or one of the twins, I feel very much like the masculine energy, so I'm just going to call it out as that. Like the masculine energy had to go sow his oats, had to go off on his own, had to go see about that relationship, had to go see about that thing. But now he's coming back like in a richer way, like much more in an authentic way. There are some karmic relationships ending right now, between now, this full moon, and the eclipses. And it's going to set free some of the masculine to return to their beloveds. There's definitely a disappointment here of something not working out. But it's not something that it's going to take a lot of time to get over, I feel like it's something that the masculine or whoever was experiencing this feels like they kind of knew it wasn't the right path for them anyhow. They kind of knew like it was just something to fill the void, or it didn't have that potential for longevity. It wasn't that thing they wanted it to be, but I think like the wanting it to be was almost like a masking of how they really felt. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is the the 6 of Cups. And so with this, I feel like I don't feel like, well, yeah, we're always working on our childhood, you know, on our past, on our deep rooted, you know, wounding and our past. However, this is a returning back to the innocence of the relationship with the twin flames. This could be healing the past. This could be healing the fears rooted in childhood. And definitely a lot of those memories are coming up. Definitely. Look how I was just talking about my first grade. I mean, I was having a flashback while I was doing the channeling. But that's happening for a lot of people, so you can heal it, so you can heal. And like I said, over the past few months, I've worked with more people in soul coaching and regressions than I have in the whole year. Like, it's been crazy how many people are stepping forth to do their real healing and really digging into those memories and really healing. And that's definitely happening. But moreover, I feel like this card is a return to the innocence of like the beginning of the relationship, like the beginning of when you just first met your twin flame and there was just like that magic and that spark. That is being missed at this time. Both parties are missing it. Both parties are longing for that purity of the connection. And enough time has passed for some of you where the 3D has healed, like you've healed it in the 3D enough so that the purity of the connection can just come through and you can step forth again for a renewal. And that's happening for some of you over the next 6 months. And this is really just that remembering. I feel like both parties, both the feminine and the masculine, are remembering what it was like at the beginning. It's kind of like before maybe the taintedness, maybe it was just the innocence of how you met or the connection or how pure it was. That purity is being remembered and it's drawing one another back to each other. We have Temperance and the 6 of Wands in reverse. Again, we're getting the 6. And I do feel like this is the masculine moving towards the feminine, you know. And I feel like this is balance achieved, or greater balance achieved. It's not necessarily what he wants in terms of full establishment, you know, complete goal fulfillment, but there's more of a balance that he's able to strike to step forward towards the feminine now. So I'm definitely getting in this reading that there's masculine stepping towards the feminine. There's a reunion at a higher soul level where both are longing for realizing the purity of the connection and longing for it. And then there's definitely some sort of a reconnection, that a karmic cycle is ending and giving way to this. And there's a balance that's being struck. Okay, we have cards flying out. King of Wands. So I feel like this is still that there's still a bigger picture. And so here's the thing. If you had come together before, some of you, the time apart has been necessary to illuminate your bigger picture, what you want, to know the truth of your soul. And if you had stayed together, some of you, you wouldn't have that clarity. And to come back together now, or if you had stayed together, you wouldn't be working on the higher aspects of yourself or cultivating some of those higher timelines for yourself. I feel like what this balance is it's saying it's almost time to come back together and harmonize in such a way that there's no sacrifice needed. There's no sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice a path. You don't have to sacrifice something that you truly desire. It's really about like both parties coming back, having recognized not only the purity of the connection, but also the truth of their hearts, and finding a balance so that you can harmonize together without having to sacrifice what you truly desire for your life. And this is a different dynamic than what was first in place for many. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at the bottom of this deck, and it is that leaving. It is, you know, again, we have the 6. So we're seeing 6 of Swords, we're seeing 6 of Cups, and we're seeing 6 of Wands. And I feel like this is leaving. It's, you know, returning back, moving forward, and the return to innocence and purity of the connection. But there is no doubt in my mind that someone is walking away from a karmic cycle or relationship so that they can return to their beloved. Okay, so let's just get a few clarifiers on the twin flame messages, and then we'll call this long reading. It's at 1 hour 11 minutes already. We'll call it good. Okay, so I'm pulling from the past life deck, which I call past life, early life, or the right now. So what are we working on in terms of tying up maybe past life karma? It could be from our early life, healing from our early life. Okay, so they're saying galactic. So I mean, I feel like this is our connection to the universe, the galaxy, to other life forms. This is about oneness from within us, and it's our connection to all that is. And some of you, this is for the star seeds who I feel like are finding more purpose at this time here on Earth, as an earth angel, as an earthly light worker being. This is also about understanding what your purpose is and what your connection has meant in relation to where we're headed cosmically and with this new earth, and how what you're doing here in a very humanistic, sentient way affects all on the planet and beyond. Okay, and so then we have the Orphan Card, which again, that goes along with this comforting and nurturing. Remember I said that's, you know, we always are working on this abandonment wound, but it could be abandonment, could be rejection, and that's being healed so that we can come into that oneness and understand that connection to all. I think a lot of times we spend our lives seeking the support from one person, or from, you know, feeling angry or resentful towards the person who didn't give it to us, or the people who didn't, feeling like we're not supported, we're not safe, secure, protected. They're saying when you find that within yourself and you learn how to give that back to yourself, you understand that everything in the universe is supporting you and connecting you to all that is. And you're so loved. Okay, we have leaving or travel. So in this context, I feel like it's It's you going on some sort of a self-exploration journey, and then returning home. Okay? So this isn't necessarily like, although many of you have had abandonment through people who have left or were traveling, you know, in your upbringing or whatnot, but this feels more about you. This feels like your self-exploration. You're packing your bags to self-explore, to find your truth, but then you're also it's about a returning home. It's always good to come home, is what they're saying. And home is within yourself. Okay. Okay. Bottom of the deck is wisdom. We have the unicorn in reverse. Remember how wise you are. Remember how all-knowing you are, how powerful you are, and how all of your experience is leading to this amazing knowledge, wisdom. Okay, and we're just going to pull a clarifier, one clarifier. Oh, there we go. Masculine energy. Masculine. So this is about direction, movement. And I feel like that's the masculine moving towards the feminine. I feel like it's taking action towards our passions. It's stepping forth, going into our fears, getting to the other side, advancing. This makes a lot of sense. Okay, so it's that masculine energy coming into balance. So you might say, well, isn't the feminine energy leading the planet right now? Yeah, but as the feminine energy rises, it naturally balances the masculine energy and helps us step forth in healthy action. This is a much more balanced action rather than the imbalanced masculine templates we've seen in the past, where we're moving forth from will or control or manipulation. This is like true masculine, and that's how things really start to happen and fall into place, fall into line. And the bottom of that deck is love, and this is unconditional love, source energy, universal love, and that feels like this galactic connection. It's saying the universe loves you, the universe has your back, you are loved, you are one with all. But this is also about your trust and faith and the renewal of a love connection. And I feel like trust. Okay? All right, you guys. I love you guys. And I know this was long. Thanks for hanging in there. I hope it resonated for some of you, or at least some of the messages were helpful for you. And I'll see you next week. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter so you can get the extended forecast for the solstice and the eclipse, and then I'll be back for that forecast. Okay, love you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.